Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious. True Ali is happy when Moors are happy. Vixens wink fake lashes trying to trap me. 40 days and nights battling galore with demons. This is not the land, hybrids can't be freemen. If this is not their land, who's the immigrant thinking they're sovereign? Imagination figment, recessive is their status, lacking pigment. A game for the Thanksgiving, but no commitment to indigenous Moors they conquered with Bibles, signs in the vitals and signs in the cycles, only to strangle, embracing my rivals. Free national standards, not playing with the tribals. Each Moor is their own Christ, not disciples. Whether hands or thoughts, no worshiping idols. Always carry my Moorish Quran, no recitals. Everyone will not process ancients' arrivals. Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
Innate mystic ability to show and prove a lesson, coupled with the agility to move you with the message, presence of divine mind to navigate you with a reference, urgent with a purpose, perfect. Emergent urban legends, real Moors, not a question or a choice or a preference. You are who you are, you should have the same obsession. Broke the same jewels to a dude, the corner Jane and Western. What you reppin', all that effort, that direction, keep you separate in a world of blind sheep. I was born to be a shepherd, mind like an elephant. Got the paws of a leopard, means I'm wise and I'm strong. Crank you up like I'm a record, take you to the body shot, correct your lines to true vector manifestations. Matter, energy, and mind, spirit men unsung. Trey Young dropping dimes until you tighten up, you catching splinters from the pine. Clean the clouds out your thoughts, that's what keep you in the bind.
Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
You are looking through a window.
Audio mechanics.
Audio mechanics. We are audio mechanics.
We inhabit a galaxy known as the Milky Way, which contains hundreds of billions of stars. How did we arrive at this point?
Yo, love everlasting. These thoughts sculpted and crafted. Imagine whitewater rafting. Imagine. I'm trying to take it to that place of empty space, a vacuum state. Meditate. Peel back the layers, fillet the superficial naysayers, and free the soul of the slayers. I stand on the shoulders of giants. My clients are deaf, dumb, dastardly defiant. I stand on the sand of Mars, while Earth was scarred by debris coming from afar. I stand on the sand of Mars, while Earth was scarred by debris coming from afar.
No one knows the power of thought now. I will make lives conscious and not now. No one knows the power of healing. Deeply breathing can change the seasons. No one knows power of thought now. How we'll make lives conscious and not now. No one knows power of healing. How deeply breathing can change the seasons.
Well, lucrative scribbles is how this all started. I wrote rap books, sketch pictures, shot videos. That's where my heart is. I study the legends of music, philosophy and knowledge, dreams of MCing, teaching the youth about the learned martyrs who put their life on the line and died for the people, leading them into a conscious mind state where they receive jewels, jazz, reggae, R&B, blues, rock and hip hop too. Spiritual leaders for freedom, the music will teach truth about the past, present, and future. Spiritual war against the evil beings. Some dream at night, when they wake up, they don't know where they've been. Intuition tells me the dimensions that we walking through are deep. The power of thought take my mind through an imaginative scenery where I'm gathering high levels of education. It seems to be tools you work with, make goals easier accomplished. Books, scriptures, words of the wise feed my consciousness.
No one knows the power of thought now. I will make lives conscious and not now. No one knows the power of healing. Deeply breathing can change the seasons. No one knows power of thought now. How we'll make lives conscious and not now. No one knows power of healing. How deeply breathing can change the seasons.
Yo, I can't stand 90% of today's rappers, cause each higher self get caught by lower chakra trappers. High from chemical kush, Molly's and E. He might be good to you, but Jimmy Drake Brooks is whack to me. Yeah, call me a hater, like I give one or two ish Q. Bring back the locks on some Tim Dog ish. Punks with deal sign, feel these lines punch. Rap deals in their stomach and make the back hunch. Black candle hex Beyonce, make her fall on the stage downstairs. Yellow candle drip his ass, he felt like a square. Put a Shaka hex on Wayne, make him join Zulu. Step in the arena, no Mr. Nice Guy for guru. Watch the devil's son return, a big L hex. I'm dead serious, snap a neck for some Daz effects. Calling the reverend or chaplain, no escape or abandon. Like that flip cruise ship, an Italian captain. Make rappers walk the plank off charts. You can't jump ship, get exiled from hip-hop with that shake room showing me boxers with planes, trains, and automobiles, claiming your hard construction Timbs or boots with high heels. When we God casting, we send a message. When we God casting, are you receiving the message? When we God casting, did you get the message? When we God casting, it's more than rhyming, it's lessons.
No one knows the power of thought now. I will make lives conscious and not now. No one knows the power of healing. Deeply breathing can change the seasons. No one knows power of thought now. How we'll make lives conscious and not now. No one knows power of healing. How deeply breathing can change the seasons. Da 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 da, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, yesterday, but today. And change the season, change the season. Nobody knows the power. Nobody knows as the wind blows like yo.
Many lies been told, many files been held, many books been burned. Can't know thyself unless you look deep within yourself like a well and activate your DNA, activate your cells, activate your higher self, keep the lower dormant. I rep Temple 5, known as subordinate to Grand Major Temple. Drew between my temple, form my mental AC chambers when I enter. 7 is perfected, 9 is complete. The womb is the first school, her lap is my seat. In the alchemy, I'm raising chakras with heat. Red is the lowest, I'm indigo deep. Olokun deep, it's water when I flow like Niagara or like your weak bladder. Islam, I self-law and master. Matriarch though, not a patriarch bro. After a blunt, get my red off. Not cock and let off. Acting like Cain, take my brother's head off. Running from the servant, hopping over fences. My people stinking is of the most densest. Call them hard-headed, not too spiritual. Angel took the key, left in a light vehicle. Ancestors told you, white Jesus told you. You sit back and laugh and do as Rome do. So get burnt to ashes, I'm cleaning out the madness. I hate 2 earring, pink shirt wearing. I'm fronting like an MC with no DJ, no dancer, no hieroglyphics get sprayed. $1 million beats to talk mad garbage. Get pressure
Preacher point to death by Mufti sergeants. Get the pioneer ram hard by the vanguard. First and lieutenant, they just stand guard. Probably on the square or left foot first. Let me chill now cause I bless this verse. Probably on the square, left foot first. Let me chill now cause I bless this verse. We exist, fusing material with our visual. Crafting tools for the physical, building schools for the spiritual. We exist. We exist. We exist, fusing material with our visual. Crafting tools for the physical, building schools for the spiritual. We exist. We exist. You thought I was finished, the battle just begun. I don't have a deal, so I won't rhyme about guns. They call me New Age, cause I am the sun they worship. On the equinox and solstice, 12 tribes is what the horoscope is. Know this, I'm a nigga as a river, I can't be flowless. Playing the blame game, get off your emotions. Pure self without prescriptive doses. If I must, I flush with natural potions. Crash on the devil like shores and oceans. Engulf like Cali, devour when I rally. And tens and thousands, meant to dead get tally. Call them 85ers, nah, 99ers. Stuck in some 60s, math is not the science. Most just parrot, vote by the ballot. Stupid health freaks got bacon in their salad. Secret handshakes, speaking in code. Masons use emblems to travel on the road. Never get a ticket, the brotherhood is deep. With 33 degrees, they control the sheep. Control the masses, the strong and the weak. With orange and red warnings, fear is the speech. Push through pointed hat, robes and sheets. Grand serpent get grand hex from grand sheets. Walk right, see the serpent stress. Fall to the goddess feet for talking mess. On black targets, police shoot heads, not the chest. Follow the scoop houses walking in a vest. We exist, fusing material with our visual. Crafting tools for the physical, building schools for the spiritual. We exist. We exist. We exist. We exist, fusing material with our visual. Crafting tools for the physical, building schools for the spiritual. We exist. We exist.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, different slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Moorish Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. DAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. More like more prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the cold magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness. No pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with more they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with most they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend, and you can't stop this.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with most they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend, and you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send writs again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out, just the silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Islam Moors Q&A Wednesday. I don't know what white screen is going on right now, but I don't know what's going on. Q&A Wednesday. We're here. Another one. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Supreme honors. The Noble Drew Ali. Islam, Islam, Islam. Honors. Honors to all the Moors. Why this thing's wilding. What's going on with the white screen? Islam. Let's get to this. To these emails. Canaanland Moors Q&A Wednesday. Email your questions. CanaanlandGuide@gmail.com. First question. Can you give some more details and information on the Seneca village history, now known as Central Park today, from your studies? So the first thing is that you're gonna research it, and everything that's gonna be coming up is some African Americans who were doing something. Some African Americans who were whatever. Some African Americans who were whatever. If they're so African American, how come the place is named Seneca? If they're so African American. And then how come that's a park town? Everybody's going around with it as a park, just like the mounds out there that people are bobsledding down in the winter and all that stuff, and those are sacred, you know what I mean? You go climb some pyramid in Mexico, they'll drag you off that thing and lock you up for 500 years. Doing crazy stuff with people's stuff. So in the research, the stuff that comes up just as we're researching, you know what I mean? Stuff's gonna come up. The most credible perspective was it being used as part of the Underground Railroad to escape the slavery, because they could hide under the Seneca and nobody's gonna look there for no black or whatever, because it's the Seneca. Why'd they look there for slaves? What are they looking there for? Right? That was an outlet. That was an outlet to get to the north, Canaanland, and all that. That's the most credible that I found. There's the indigenous thing, but then that area wasn't Seneca area. So why would I think that was I can't remember what tribe it was, but it definitely wasn't Seneca tribe. And that's from indigenous people talking like that. That's not an Indian thing. Like that thing that you see going on, that village where these, people set up their community, that wasn't an Indian thing. They wouldn't know why it's called Seneca. Because definitely that's not Seneca territory. So it wouldn't be named Seneca. And then if it is named that, then it's because of them murdering and killing whoever stuff that was taking over. And then that's why the same stuff happened to them. If you're going down it's an indigenous jurisdiction. But it just the fact that you're gonna say now known as a park, then you already know that colonization going on. You already know somebody's trying to hide something. They just drop a park on something. They probably try to hide something. And with them, who knows what they're hiding. But just drop a building on somewhere. Just put a highway through a certain spot just because. Most of the time they're trying to cover up. They're trying to hide. You know, most of the time they're trying to hide. But I didn't do any extensive, research in it or whatever. It's just I think it came up because of I researched it because of Central Park 5. That's what made me research it. And then because I was researching Central Park, and then this thing kept coming up about Seneca Village before Central Park. So it's a cover up. What the cover up is, I don't know. But you know that's their pattern. Put something on it to hide it. Sweep it under the rug, as they say. And everybody could see the hump in the rug and all that stuff. People pretending like people didn't sweep stuff under the rug. They're just walking around like pretending like they don't know what's going on. Big hump under the carpet. But if you're in that territory, it's something probably worth researching, worth checking out, just to see what's out there with regard to that particular subject matter. So, but yeah, there was no extensive research done on that, but from what I gather, the Underground Railroad thing makes more sense. That it was a stop off point or some type of transfer point, and there was this community of these free people, because it also talks about how it wasn't just some Asiatics there, like there was Germans there and Irish and all that stuff, and they were in the abolition movement to try to help the blacks get out of the conditions of slavery and all this. So that also makes me lean toward the thing because of the whole abolitionist perspective with regard to there being other nationalities there. It wasn't white people or poor whites or nothing like that. It was Irish. And then you already know the Irish are us. You already know that. You already know the Scottish and the Danes and all of them are us. However they look today. You trace them back, those people are us. So there's this community that's assisting in freeing people who fell into that slave trade BS. And then if that was a spot, then how many other spots did they really have? That, because you're not going to look there. Seneca Village. Why are we looking at Seneca Village for runaway slaves? They don't know nothing about no Seneca and all that stuff. So, and then the other part with the indigenous thing is that the Seneca territory could have expanded to there. Seneca could have probably had a bigger territory. And because this community was in that territory, it was called Seneca Village. And whatever was happening there was happening, whether it was the get the blacks out of slavery, whether it was some indigenous people in there. But if it's their community, why are they gonna call it their? Why would they say Seneca Village? Which again, with the indigenous, because people some like to use the indigenous thing and try to claim it. But it doesn't really add up being indigenous from the perspective of the Seneca. From my perspective, at least. Next question. What is your process like when it comes to creating your music? Also, the people you collaborate with, also your creative thoughts that go into creating music videos as well. So for the music, it's I already knew that I was gonna do a 7-album series. I always knew I was gonna do 7 albums, and then that's it. There's nothing else to write about. Everything's gonna be in there. Just go get that. As far as the music, and then the creative aspect was just throw it out there, and whoever's game, they're gonna get on it. So the whole Iron Sheik series, 1 to 7, and then 8 after that. After the 1 to 7, then doing the 8. The 8 was because as in the realm of music, I'm like a faucet, right? And sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off, right? But when it's on, like everything's gonna happen when it's on. There's not gonna be, the faucet shuts off and just turn it back on again. No, once it's on, then we're going full head of steam, and wherever we're at when the faucet's off, that's where we're done. So we put it out there, and whoever would get on it, except the first Iron Sheik album, which that was the intro to what you're seeing with the 8, and then all the collabs and all the different Moors and whatever, right? The idea of Moors having a realm in the music, it was an open idea that anything could be added on. So when the first Moor that it hit me that it could be done was Sheik Ron. So Sheik Ron was the first Moor. I said, Fez is on and rhyming and all that. So we could be in different things as Moors. We don't just have to be, Moor Science Temple only. We could be doing, all right. So we could do the music. And then that's what got it kicked off. Seeing Sheik Ron, and then talking to other Moors, and then they're like, and then that inspired them to get on their music. Like the whole catalog that you see. Right now, if we say Moorish music, and there's a catalog of all, there was none of this stuff going on when I started rhyming as a Moor, as a proclaimed Moor. There was no Moors out there rhyming like you're seeing today. Like it was nearly non-existent. Of course there was the conscious whatever, but more like Moors MCing, no, didn't exist. There's a couple Moors that were MCing. But the music just comes from when the faucet's on, and then whatever it is, that's what it is. There's no going back. There's no do-overs. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, that's what it is. Because I already, but in the black conscious whatever, I gave up on the music industry. I gave up on the music industry. I already knew it was BS, right? Because I knew from a long time ago, how come the founders of hip hop aren't the ones that are the CEOs of all these record companies and all that? How come it's some other people? Well, this is not making sense. They should automatically get the seat just because they're the founders of hip hop. What you mean? You do that with everything else, right? You know, outsiders picking people for NBA Hall of Fame and all that stuff with inside people. Academy Award picking whoever's they're not outside people. Then when they want to pick president and all that stuff, there are no outside votes that matter. It's inside. Right? So I already knew industry was BS. Right? And people are just going to get whatever they get. You know, they're going to get whatever they get, and they do with it whatever they want to do with it. Because faucet's on, I'm an MC, and you know what I mean? I'm gonna do what MCs do. Put out music. You know, the beats come from, say it, throw it out there. Hey, you got beats? You know, more send me folders of beats. Just because they're fed up with the damn industry and all the BS. And they figure, hey, you know, why not? And as far as the videos and all that stuff, I'm not no videographer and all that. Like the idea just hits me for a concept for a video, and the catalog's so expansive. I could pick anything, and it's gonna take whatever real time it is, downloading clips and whatever like that. All that stuff that people say in their little videos. Oh yeah, it takes so long to download the clips. You know, please like and subscribe and share and all that BS. Right? I'm not doing this for some living, whatever. We can't even monetize our YouTube. I show you all the emails everywhere. This video can't be monetized. This video can't be monetized. This video can't be monetized. The amount of emails. So we already know systems rigged and all that stuff. So it's all for the love, yo. It's all for the love. It's all for the, you know what I mean? Like I got some creative juices and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's not on the level of like some of these other Moors, because Moors are creative. If Moors aren't anything, they're creative. The Moors will figure some stuff out. You know, that's just you know, being Moors. You know, knowing who we are. We're gonna tap into whatever it is. You know, like these Moors. We be laughing about them being on the slave, for example, you know, and then they decided that they're not going to be on the slave anymore, and they're just going to do something else, whatever it is. They're just going to do something else, and then, you know, ever since they made that decision, they've been living fine, just as if they had a slave. But whatever they tapped into, right? That creative thing, that everybody has, they're gonna tap into it, and it's gonna manifest something for you. I've seen some Moors I see some Moors that they say thought about what it is they're gonna do, and then implemented it, and then they had so much work they didn't even know what to do with themselves. Just because they tapped into this creativity within them, but as a mortal, not as Negro, black, colored, or whatever, you know. The with the books, right? The first book was the nationality book. The nationality book, because I was coming from the Negro, black, colored. I was coming from the metaphysics. I was coming from the Rastafarianism. I was coming from the Garvey, and like, oh, well, damn, I could put all this together in one. And then that's how that came about. And then the Fez book, because somebody actually said, but didn't the Moors steal the Fez from the Shriners? And then that's how that book came about. And then the collaborations, the 77 Amazing Facts, that was a collaborative work that was supposed to be an album, but it just didn't. The book concept was look what came out of the book concept, 77 Amazing Facts, with regard to the collaborations with the different things, even going back to doing the lectures, collaborations. The more in their territory, that there's nothing going on in their territory. So they want to do something in their territory because they're tired of answering all these damn questions that people got that they don't have answers yet because they just found out about this yesterday. So they do a lecture. And then this is just based on seeing something online. And then you start realizing that, damn, getting with Moors being together doing things there's something to that, for real. There's something that's created when Moors get together. Going back to the whole thing with everybody tapped in their creative juices and all that stuff and bouncing ideas off each other. It's inevitable what's going to happen if we have the time to be able to, shut everything off and be together and get some stuff done. But this is the stuff that the people before were been supposed to do, so we don't have to be doing it right now. But since we do, here we are. So you got 7 albums, you got all the collaboration albums, and then you got the Wild Triple album. You got all the solo artists themselves just saying that they're gonna do. You have Moorishness.com, all Raquel's albums, and then his collaborative albums. Moor's been inspired just because there was something out there for them, which is what it was about. Because, like I said, when I came in, there was no Moorish MCs to listen to. I'm listening to the regular 90s stuff. I'm trapped in that time warp because I'm not leaving it to listen to any of this other BS. And praise Allah. Now we got more than enough Moorish music to listen to. Khalifa Society, all those Moors. Again, just inspired, and a Moor had beats, a Moor had a studio, a Moor had whatever, a Moor had the car, a Moor had the weed, a Moor had and put out some music for Moors. But then, because it's for Moors, the demographic now is sort of limited and skewed, because the other people, they want the niggerdom. They want the niggerness and the whore culture and all that stuff. They don't want what Moors got to say. So that's why Moors, that's what the Moors are talking about, that when you buy stuff, buy it in 3s and 4s. 1, so you could support the Moors, and then 2, so that you have extra. People want to play around like they can't. Well, I can't get it right now. Okay, don't worry. Here's one for you then. Since you want to play around like you don't want to go buy the Moorish books, here's one for you. But it's all just making sure that Moors have Moorish hip hop to listen to, with proclaimed Moors who are rhyming. Negroes and blacks and say Moors in a song, but then they're not saying they're Moors openly and all that stuff. It ain't nothing like that. The actual Moors for real. And then they have some lyrical skill that they want to express. So, why shouldn't they have the ability to at least put it out there? Even if only one Moor gets it and says, wow, I could listen to I could play a Moorish CD. I could play a Moorish MP3. I could play a Moorish, and it's just Moors, man. That's amazing. I want to do it. But yeah, it's a great process. It's been a great process. Just seeing how deep Moors could really go on some music. And Moors took you back. Can't say there's no Moorish hip hop now. Can't say it. So honors to all you producers and Moorish MCs and Moorish dancers and Moorish artists. Honors to you for keeping it alive. Of course, the Moorish listeners, the ones whose ears we use and whose hearts we use and minds we use. Honors to you for listening. Now, what can some Moors look forward to who's never been to Canaanland barbecue? Well, for the barbecue, we're really giving back to the membership. There's one day that the weather is great. You could be around Moors for some hours. It's not a rush thing. We could actually sit back and put our feet up and take our shoes off and all that stuff. And we could be around Moors for the day. And then the children could be amongst each other and them being together and having fun as children, eating good food for the day. Just it being a great day. There's there's been barbecues where we're out there in the rain and just waiting for the rain to stop. You know, food covered over with tarp and all this. There's been some crazy ones. You know, there's been real ones. You know, it's always a good time though. It's always a good time. More being around each other is always a good time. But at the annual barbecue, it's, you know, and again, there's Moors that's traveled to just be at the barbecue, to be around Moors. You know, and the same thing with Drew Ali Day. You know, Moors, you know, it's something that we do just so it's just so we can be with each other, you know, and not have to rush to go anywhere. We could sit back and chill, you know, as Moors. It's always a great day. Canaanland barbecue, always. It's like that thing when they say you had to be there. Oh, for the music, just go to khalifamedia.com under Moorish music, and then you'll see everything there. Do you think we will experience the full changing of the guard in our lifetime? Well, I always looked at the transfer of power already happening with Noble Drew Ali. And like he said, you know, mountains of gold will be revealed to the Moors. And everything was in our hands as Moorish Americans. If we know the work that Noble Drew Ali put in to the time of his assassination, we can see that this stuff was over. Right? It was in our hands. So it already happened. And the biggest issue is the Negro problem. Because if all these Negroes would say that we're Moors tomorrow, the stuff will be over. If everybody you know that's a competent Moor, right? So let's say you call out 10 competent Moors. If all the Negroes had their mindset, stuff will be over tomorrow. But this was part of, you know, why Noble Drew Ali was a prophet. He told us it's going to take 16 secretaries and all that stuff because he already knew that people were going to sell out and that this would fall down to the lowest low. And you wouldn't even know there was a Moorish movement after a certain amount of time. So the work that we're doing of uplifting the people, right? That task, right? That's at hand right now. You know, it's very important work. You know. the changing of the guard happened. And our people sold out. Just like the changing of the guard happened in 1492, because our own sold out. It was in our hands. Our biggest problem is the Negro black colored problem. And as we see right now how big a problem that is, because there's still people on that BS right now. Right now, there's people on that BS. We're talking about the more about this today. That right now, there's people that are saying black whatever, and then they're saying that they're the conscious people. They're the ones that we should listen to for us to figure out our issues. They think they're black. We listen to them? And they're gonna get mad when they can't talk and all that stuff because we're supposed to be brothers and talking all crazy. If we're brothers, you would have a nationality like I do, and it wouldn't even be up for debate. You would just proclaim it, because that's what has to be done. Right? When you look at the Moor in their life, and then the Moor in their life that figured this out, whether they figured it out spiritually or whether they figured it out physically. Right? Once they figured this thing out, that was the changing of the guard. Once they had a family and they figured out, oh, we need to be Moors. And then everybody said, yeah, we need to be Moors. That's actually true. That's the changing of the guard. Because the thing with them getting out the seats and then the single file line and then they're going to the planes to go back to that stuff. That's not happening. Only way that's happening is if all these Negro, blacks, and coloreds, Indians start saying that they're Moors and stop playing around. That's the only way we're going to get out the seat and then them saying go home, because then the people are going to realize that they're the ones in power and they're going to demand them to get out, or they're going to remove them, just like they do in every other place of the world when corrupt people are in the seats of government. They don't sit there and let them stay up there. They go in there and remove those criminals and put who they want up there. Right. Anywhere that had a revolution, that's what they did. They changed the guard. They wait for some situation. They went and changed the guard. You're falling asleep on your post. You aren't worthy of guarding anybody. But the idea of it, of the transfer and all that stuff, that stuff was done. And I always go back to that's why they did the New Deal. And that's why they got Drew Ali out the way before they did the New Deal. Who's going to stop it? The sellouts that they paid off to get Noble Drew Ali out the way? Well, they're gonna stop them and their New Deal? No, they were down with it. Yeah. So here we are, doing our best to uplift all humanity, because our prophet told us humanity is going to be needing uplifting. Humanity is going to be needing that. So you better study your Quran and study your 101s and your Constitution. You better study it all. And then once you study it all, then you'll be able to handle your own affairs. Because I brought you everything it takes to save a nation. And you're supposed to take it and save yourself and your family. You're not supposed to take it and do BS with it. You're supposed to take it and save yourself. That's what it's for you to save yourself. Somebody else wants to get saved too, then they'll start kicking like you're kicking, moving their arms and stuff like that. Try to stay afloat. I'm going to talk about they could be in the pool, play floating on their back, and now it's in the ocean. Now they're talking about they're drowning. No, you better float like you were in the pool. Stop playing around. Mm-hmm. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Question: Nas or Jim Jones? The fact that you have to ask shows how warped this place has become. Right? How warped. Nas or Jim Jones? The hell? Like what? Honors to all the Moors in the chat. I'm just scrolling through this chat. Honors to you, Moors. Yeah, enough work for all to do. Yep, Khalifa Society. Go get that hip hop over there. You want some Moorish music to listen to? Go listen to that. Islam just came by to check and see if anybody is holding this tether accountable for pretending to be Moorish American. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh no, I don't need tax or donations. I got that good European education. I got pension. So don't worry. I won't be asking for donations for retirement. We are taking donations for the ball camp. It's starting in August though. Canaanland Guide at gmail.com. Just send your donations for the ball camp. And let's, give these youths a good gym that they could play in, balls and all that stuff for them, some coaches, some trainers, and let them put in some work since they want to play ball and all that. So the Key 20 ball camp starting up August 1st. So anybody wants to support, we'll take donations for that. Help us in the uplifting of fallen humanity. Give these children a little camp for the summer. You know how camp used to be for you when you were growing up? You remember. Don't play like you don't remember. We're not talking about people who went to the pedo camps by accident and got touched and messed up their whole camp experience. We're not talking about those camps. Talking about the actual good ones. Where you went, you met new people, you had fun, you learned stuff, right? This is just geared toward basketball. So we're getting them up early, 10 a.m., 10 to 12. Right? So we're instilling that discipline. We're not playing in this 6 p.m. practice and all that BS. 10 a.m. Get your ass out of bed and let's get to the gym, put in some work for 2 hours. Right? And then in the end, all those who participate, they get a certificate and they get some going away stuff. That's what all the donations are for. So if you want to check the gym, it's the Pan Am Center is where we're going to be running the camp out of. And Pan Am Center is, Pan Am games played there. So this is a top of the line facility. And they're working with us because we're working with young people in at-risk neighborhoods and youth who don't got anything better to do, and their communities are drug infested and whatever else, and they need a good place. So, we talked to Pan Am and we're able to get some space. So send all the donations via PayPal, Canaanlandguide@gmail.com. 40 people on here, send 50 notes. We'll be good to get some stuff done for them. Because remember, it's all about them. It's all about the children. They're the future. Not these stiff-necked, broke-back adults. They're not the future. The children are. So give them the best that they can have. All right. This message are for the one or two that know deep down this dude is a fraud but don't have the courage to speak up. Oh no, they speak up and they get cussed out too. Now the hell are you talking about? I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud? Cujoel's a fraud? Really? Fraud where? Name the fraud that I did. Name one fraud that I did. Just one. I don't even need a long list. Just name one fraud that I did. And since you want to bring it up, because I want to know too. I'm curious. I'm real curious. Fraud. You have nothing to say to these people selling packages and all types of other BS. I have nothing to say to them. Nothing to say to pedos. Nothing to say to LGB, whoever is teaching your children about sex and dicks and all that stuff in grade 1. But Cujo's a fraud. All right. Selling right to travel and fake nationality cards from RV Bay. RV Bay is a publication's website. Right to travel and nationality cards come from Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. Because that's the Moorish government, whoever that people are saying running around that they're the Moorish government and the consulate general and the whatever. No, they're all supposed to be Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. All of them. Anybody out there who's playing push nationality cards and sell packages and whatever, all of them supposed to be Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. And everybody's supposed to have the same nationality card and right to travel card. Not supposed to be 50 different ones out there. But again, you have nothing to say to the sellouts, but the people who've been putting in work for years, you got something to say about them. You've been putting in work for years. When you were a dumb nigger, they're putting in work. Huh? You're a dumb nigger putting in work. What you mean? You haven't done jack if you're a Negro black colored. Noble Drew Ali warned about foreigners trying to teach Moorish Americans. He was warning Moors about tethers like Cujo. No, he wasn't. He said, don't let the foreign Muslims teach from your rostrum. Because when you go to Moorish convention, all the Muslims, these same foreign Muslims, are going to be in the front seat to listen to the Prophet. And you're going to have to sit in the back like a big dummy. Because they're going to be there before your slow ass. I tell you about sometimes their black time and all this other BS. And then you're trying to get into the front and you can't get a seat. You're a Moorish American, you can't get a seat because a foreign Muslim took your seat to see your Prophet that you didn't get there 5 hours early, lining up around the door to go see. You want to just pull in there at 5 minutes to 6 and the stuff is done at 6. Talking about get a seat. The hell out of here. Honors to Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Can you elaborate on the difference between part and partial regarding active Moors? So when Moors get into this information, and then they get into Noble Drew Ali, and then they get into literature that Noble Drew Ali presented, they're going to get to Divine Constitution and Bylaws. In the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, there's parts in there that state that Moors are part and partial. Partial. Part and partial. Over the years, Moors have taught that that's an error. It's really supposed to be part and parcel. Because if partial means part, and you're part and part, you sound like a big dummy, and Noble Drew Ali wasn't a dummy. And when you look up part and parcel, you realize that's a law term. Now you're going to find that being in reference to you, your government, you, your land, you, your nation, that you're part and parcel of it. So to make you part and partial, and then have been running with that for how many years, until somebody came up and said, hey, you know, that's actually supposed to be part and parcel, then the whole Divine Constitution and Bylaws has been voided. Because they've been running around with Constitution spelt wrong and thinking that they're doing something. So it's part and parcel. And just look them up. Look up part and partial, see what comes up. Then look up part and parcel and see what comes up. And then you ask yourself, what do you think Noble Drew Ali meant when he wrote this? Did he mean part and partial, or did he mean part and parcel? Use your common sense. Drew Ali said he brought you everything it takes to save a nation, to save yourself. So use your common sense and save yourself. It's the only way you're going to get out of this. There's no other way that you're going to get out. You have to save yourself. All right. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. This one's crazy. Somebody named Moorish American is calling people black. You know that's a troll. You know that's a Bati boy. Bati. Bati boy. Damn Bati. Time out for you, Bati boy. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. Love and peace to you all. Islam to all the Moors. Worldwide. Honors to you.
Hold power long after the Prophet Noble Drew Ali set his mission in motion. Dixon's barbershop in Newark was far more than a place for grooming. It was an early sanctuary where ordinary men and women first gathered to reclaim their Moorish birthrights. Within those walls, the Prophet planted the seeds that would become the Moorish holy temple of science, guiding a people once called lost back to their true identity. Today, it is no small irony that the site where this sacred work began now sits opposite Greek Way, the fraternity row of Rutgers University, where Moorish Americans first met to speak of sovereignty, self-determination, and divine law. Now stand Greek letter societies that benefit from our genius, yet remain silent on our freedom. Such placement is not coincidence alone. It is ritual, a reminder of how colonists anchor themselves to sites of our spiritual power to redirect that energy for their own gain. Still, the Prophet's voice has not been silenced. It remains louder than any chant across that street. Every Circle 7 studied, every child taught their true nationality, every temple meeting held in living rooms and community halls, these acts continue what began in that modest barbershop. Those who stand on that corner stand upon sacred ground. The building may change, but the blueprint remains within us. Our temples are not walls, they are living connections we sustain through truth, unity, and constant remembrance. We hold what cannot be colonized. Dixon's barbershop lives on wherever sincere Moorish Americans gather, teach, and uplift fallen humanity. Some places hold power long after the Prophet Noble Drew Ali set his mission in motion. Dixon's barbershop in Newark was far more than a place for grooming. It was an early sanctuary where ordinary men and women first gathered to reclaim their Moorish birthrights. Within those walls, the Prophet planted the seeds that would become the Moorish holy temple of science, guiding a people once called lost back to their true identity. Today, it is no small irony that the site where this sacred work began now sits opposite Greek Way, the fraternity row of Rutgers University, where Moorish Americans first met to speak of sovereignty, self-determination, and divine law. Now stand Greek letter societies that benefit from our genius, yet remain silent on our freedom. Such placement is not coincidence alone. It is ritual, a reminder of how colonists anchor themselves to sites of our spiritual power to redirect that energy for their own gain. Still, the Prophet's voice has not been silenced. It remains louder than any chant across that street. Every Circle 7 studied, every child taught their true nationality, every temple meeting held in living rooms and community halls, these acts continue what began in that modest barbershop. Those who stand on that corner stand upon sacred ground. The building may change, but the blueprint remains within us. Our temples are not walls, they are living connections we sustain through truth, unity, and constant remembrance. We hold what cannot be colonized. Dixon's barbershop lives on wherever sincere Moorish Americans gather, teach, and uplift fallen humanity. Some places hold power long after the Prophet Noble Drew Ali set his mission in motion. Dixon's barbershop in Newark was far more than a place for grooming. It was an early sanctuary where ordinary men and women first gathered to reclaim their Moorish birthrights. Within those walls, the Prophet planted the seeds that would become the Moorish holy temple of science, guiding a people once called lost back to their true identity. Today, it is no small irony that the site where this sacred work began now sits opposite Greek Way, the fraternity row of Rutgers University, where Moorish Americans first met to speak of sovereignty, self-determination, and divine law. Now stand Greek letter societies that benefit from our genius, yet remain silent on our freedom. Such placement is not coincidence alone. It is ritual, a reminder of how colonists anchor themselves to sites of our spiritual power to redirect that energy for their own gain. Still, the Prophet's voice has not been silenced. It remains louder than any chant across that street. Every Circle 7 studied, every child taught their true nationality, every temple meeting held in living rooms and community halls, these acts continue what began in that modest barbershop. Those who stand on that corner stand upon sacred ground. The building may change, but the blueprint remains within us. Our temples are not walls, they are living connections we sustain through truth, unity, and constant remembrance. We hold what cannot be colonized. Dixon's Barbershop lives on wherever sincere Moorish Americans gather, teach, and uplift fallen humanity. Some places hold power long after the prophet